David Allen, coming to us from the Netherlands with Dutch tulips in the background. Thank you for joining us on Wisdom Well.
Yep, thanks for the invitation. Always delighted to chat with you and catch up. Yay.
Yay! So let's talk two things here. One is getting things done, sold more than 2 million copies, and been translated into 30 languages. Probably one of the best, if not the best known productivity tool out there. What is GTD, getting things done, just for those who aren't familiar with it?
It's a set of best practices about how do you engage with your world and appropriately engage with your world by capturing and clarifying the things that have your attention, things that need to change or that you need to make decisions about or whatever, parking the results of all those reminders at the multiple levels in some sort of trusted external system. So you sort of look at and can glance at the whole gestalt of your life and work, see all the stuff you might want to do in terms of options, and then make good trusted choices about what you do so you can stay present with whatever you're doing.
So quick follow-up to that. So I mean, something that's been around for more than 20 years, sold that many copies, you have coaches around the world doing this. Why is it different than, say, other productivity tools? And why is it well respected and used so much?
It starts with where you are, not with where you should be, and it's highly practical from the very first few seconds you implement it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I can tell you that Jeff Tidwell, one of our MEA alums, is a huge fan of yours, and he's the one who helped us reacquaint us together and get us connected. And he just is an enormous fan of it. So, so let's talk a little bit about over the last 20 years. The way we work has been changing. Frankly, 20 years ago, when your book came out, there was no such thing as social media at that point. Google was something known to a few people, not that many. It was 3 or 4 years until it actually went public. In a world that we live in today, is GTD still as relevant as it used to be? And how has your thinking about this evolved? And I think you have a new book out that is a refreshed edition of the Getting Things Done premise.
Yeah, big question. Simple answer. I'll give you the freeze-dried version of the question here, or the answer is nothing has changed in the world except speed, velocity, and then the frequency of change based upon those. So nothing's new except how frequently it is. And the degree to which GTD becomes valuable is that much more valuable the faster things change and the more things are changing in your world, so that it gives you a methodology to be able to stay on top of your game instead of feel buried by it, overloaded by a bunch of backlog that's going to clog your systems and create barnacles on your ship. Right. So it's a way to stay free, stay clear, stay on top of your game. So you're managing this, it's a martial art. You're managing the 4 people who jump in a dark alley, and you don't want 20,000 unprocessed emails hanging in your head when that happens.
So give me 2 or 3 or 4 tips that you might recommend to somebody.
Anything that has your attention that you need to decide, do something about, manage, little, big, small, personal, professional, get it out of your head. Your head's a crappy office. Stop using your head as an office. It did not evolve to remember, remind, prioritize, and manage relationships between more than 4 things. The cognitive scientists have now proven that. I discovered that just experientially 25 or 35 years ago. But now they've just proven that's true. You try to keep more than 4 things in your head in terms of you need to keep track of and try to manage and try to make decisions about, you're going to sub-optimize your cognitive. You can't remember things as well. You won't be able to take a test as well. You won't be able to be present with your kids, tucking them into bed as well. You won't be able to watch your girl play soccer without being on your iPhone.
And this
You'll
is
be driven by latest and loudest. Yeah.
Probably even more important as we get older, right? I mean,
of course.
No?
More important the degree to which having a clear head and being present with whatever you're doing is important to you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's as important to some 12-year-olds as some 73-year-olds.
That's true. But what if you're just someone who just is perennially unorganized? I mean, how does this help organize?
Well, if you're totally unorganized, you couldn't get out of bed. So everybody's organized to some degree that they need to do it. Oh, come on. I don't know. When you were in college at age 18, you didn't care how your kitchen looked as long as you could find the salt.
Yeah.
But if you're a French chef, mise en place is critical. You better have every friggin' thing. totally organized in order to be able to give yourself the freedom to go crazy at dinner time. So it really depends, so being organized, nobody's totally disorganized. You wouldn't be listening to this if you weren't.
Mhm.
So it's to what degree do you want organization to help you get clarity, about what you're doing? And so if you have to keep, where first of all, at a very basic level, if you can't find stuff you need to find, you're disorganized at a pretty basic fundamental level. That's kind of the duh level. At a
Mhm.
much more sophisticated level, as soon as you have a thought twice, oh, I need cat food, or should I get divorced, or should we adopt, or should I hire a vice president? As soon as that pops in your head more than once, that means you're disorganized relative to your own commitments, that you haven't clarified your own agreements with yourself and finished your thinking about it appropriately so that you are engaged with it in the driver's seat instead of being reactive and victimized by waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning about it.
So here's a question. I'm enjoying this. Thank you, David. So if we declutter our minds, sort of do the Marie Kondo thing applied to your mind, decluttering. What do you get out of that, David? Do you get just more
You get
peace of
you.
mind, more mindfulness, more you, or does it just give space for more thoughts to come in and then be
It gives you
processed and then moved on?
it gives you more space, and however you want to use that space is up to you.
Hmm.
Some people use it to be more creative. Talk to Howard Stern. He'd tell you that GTD changed his life, gave him more space to learn how to paint and keep series going and manage all the stuff he was doing without having to, fold it down because he was so
Hmm.
overwhelmed. Talk to Joss Whedon about it. Talk to, I don't know, you know. So you allow lots of room to be more creative.
Mhm.
Uh, Robert Downey Jr., he promotes my book. So and these guys manage not only a very creative, entertainment world, but they have big businesses as well. So these guys are going, oh my God, I need more room to be able to be better and more strategic about all the stuff that I'm doing and being able to see it from a higher perspective. So yeah, more creative, more strategic, more innovative,
Mhm.
more ability to just be present with whatever you're doing. So
Mhm.
this is not about sweating more or getting harder. I mean, come on, Chip, come on, productivity's got a lot of baggage as a word. Like, oh God, I don't want to work any harder. I'm already up to here. No
Yeah.
kidding. You're up to here. But that's why the people most attracted to this methodology are the people who need it the least. They're already the most organized, productive, highly aspirational, highly focused people. They already know the value of system. They already know the value of organization, and they already know the value they can create because they've already created a whole bunch. They're just up to here. They got no more room. So, wow, if I had more room, I could do so much more cool stuff in terms of what I'm doing. And that kind of good news about my life and my career is those are the people most attracted to what I'm doing. So I've got a huge network of those kind of folks like you, who are kind of go, oh, yeah, I get it. But so, so I don't know, that was probably a longer kind of non-answer to your question or what you poked at me about.
Well, so last thought before we find out how people can learn more. You're 75 years old.
Yeah.
Are you at the best you've ever been on your game? Like, tell us about 75 years old and doing what you're doing today.
I wouldn't, I was so dumb last year. I love getting older. It's great. No, there's a lot of stuff I've learned, a lot of stuff I'm better at. And, I eat my own dog food, guys. Chip, I've been doing my stuff since I learned it for myself 35, 40 years ago. And
Mhm.
so, this is like, oh, come on. I can't even remember when I wasn't doing what this was about so that I could stay clear, stay
Yeah.
focused on what we were doing. So I still got big projects. This doesn't make life easy. It makes it manageable. It makes it so that you can get on top of your game no matter how challenging or surprising it is.
Yeah.
That's why it's a martial art. People meet me and they go, God, you're nothing. They thought, people think I'm going to be the most anal retentive type A button down kind of guy there. And they meet me and they go, God, you're nothing like that. And they go, that's right.
Yeah.
Follow my, spontaneous intuitive hunches, because that's where success I think comes from.
Yeah.
That's why I developed and unfolded this stuff and made it objective, was how to be able to maintain that at an optimal level. You're dealing with people at midlife, you know, come on, that's the time I know a lot of people flunking retirement because they never really got in. They never managed how do I keep managing my life at its next level of game that I need to do, and that's
Mhm,
absolutely critical. And some people who've retired are now busier than they've ever been,
mhm,
because they
mhm.
you probably are too. Come on, Chip,
Well,
at
you
this level
find
of game. Yeah,
you give space, as you give space in your head, but you give space in your life, your passions start to emerge, and they're things that you actually feel the spontaneous pull to get involved in. And yeah, no
sure.
doubt about it. How do people find out
Yeah.
about your new book and everything
Oh,
you're doing?
just go to gettingthingsdone.com. You
Perfect.
see our website and a way to connect in with that. If you're around the world anywhere and you are interested in deeper dive in terms of training or coaching about this, just go to training and coaching and click on your country that you live in, and you'll see our certified trainers and coaches that are available to deliver that stuff if you want deeper dives. And obviously, my book, the latest edition of Getting Things Done, you know, best great manual for that. We just published last year the Getting Things Done workbook, which is like, oh, the book looks like too much to do. Get the workbook. It gives you the 10 things to do to get you involved and engaged in this game.
Mm,
And by the way, these are not hard things to do. Everybody knows how to write stuff down. They know how to decide a next action. They know how to manage lists. So these are no new behaviors that anybody really needs, but most people need a whole lot of more education and themselves implementation of a
mm,
methodology that utilizes those best practices, in a personal way. So you're not born doing this stuff.
mm,
It's a cognitive muscle you actually need to train to think about, how do I think about this email? What do I now need to think about this decision about divorce or adopt or hire or fire or merge or retire, all those things. So
mhm.
it's a way to sort of establish or make more concrete the objective thought process people need to apply, which anybody can do right away.
Mhm. Well, thank you, David, for giving us some productivity training wheels today. And I look forward to coming to visit you in the Netherlands when we can all travel again.
Chip would be love to connect with you again. Yay.
Yeah. Fun to have you down to Baja sometime as well. All right. Thank you